FCS agent, and then myself as the intern, and then there was 2 NEAs most of the time. This summer they didn't have one, but they just hired 2 for starting next week, I think. So they got a big office. It's pretty nice in there, and pretty good place to work. Anyway, start out the summer. The first week I was there. We had the OAE 4-HA, which was the 4-H agents meeting in Guthrie. It was okay, I guess. Lindsay can attest to that. It just it was all right. But we did some business meetings. We toured Guthrie. Got to see some pretty neat places around Guthrie. Some nice houses. There's a lot of places in Guthrie I didn't know was there, and it was pretty neat to see that stuff. One day we got to all go out and kind of do different fun things depending on what group you went with. I went with the trap shooting people, and we went out and shot trap at a range out between Edmond and Guthrie somewhere, and shot trap with all the other extension agents. It was a lot of fun. We got back from there and kind of got started on the summer then as far as programming and stuff. And the first thing we did was CPN, which is Citizens Pottawatamie Nation. Me and Joe Benton, our ag agent, and Sarah Weeks, one of the 4-H agents, we went down to this the CPN. It's a big building. I don't understand really how the whole tribal thing works and all that, but they had a bunch of the Indian kids come in, and they have this building where they all meet. It's kind of like their own 4-H group. But we met down there with them, and Joe gave a kind of a PowerPoint about their gardening, because the next day they were planting a garden, a raised bed. It's kind of their project. And so Joe gave them some information on that, and then I did a demonstration on planting depth and spacing on okra and squash plants. So that was the first program we did down there. Here's a few pictures of it. I did them in those big Tupperware tubs so we could do it indoors. It's pretty hot. There was 2 groups. I did one, and Sarah did the other one on another table, and we split them up. It's a pretty decent sized group. I just had them plant. We measured out how far they needed to be in spaces, and then by the finger the depth. So that's what we did there. This was before we went in and planted. In the classroom, I was reading a little bit of some fact sheets about planting depth and spacing. Alright, the Southeast District Horse Show is in Ardmore. Went down there for just one day because I can't remember what was going on, but it was a 2-day show, and the first day I had something else I had to be at. So the second day we went down there, and I helped Travis Hanks, which is the extension agent, ag agent in Seminole County, and me and him was in charge of this gate right here and giving out awards as the riders rode out. So that was a good day out of the office. Now the State Horse Show in Shawnee, it was I can't remember the dates, I should have put it on there, but it was the statewide show, and it was in Shawnee, and I got out there and just got to spend one day because it was a Thursday, Friday, Saturday show, I think, and I had a wedding I had to be at Friday and Saturday, rehearsal and stuff. So I was just there on Thursday, and that was the day they did the timed events, the roping and all that stuff. So I was out in the arena, helped your dad, and we helped. I just helped with the timed events in the arena, helping with getting the calves around and stuff. But although I didn't have that much to do because the timed events only last so long, and then the rest of the day they do like barrel racing, and which those are timed events, but I didn't help with those. I helped with the roping stuff. So most of the rest of the day I sat around and just networked. I mean, that was the best part of that show. I got to talk to a lot of people. That was kind of towards the beginning, I guess closer to the beginning of my internship, but I'd already kind of got started looking for jobs, and so I got to talk to some of the directors and spent most of my day with them. So it was a good day as far as getting to know people. Shortly after that, we went to Ada, to the Southeast District Volunteers Conference. That's just 4-H volunteers, certified volunteers. We go down there and just kind of have workshops to kind of teach the educators or the volunteers help them with workshops and things like that we can do. I helped Dobby because he's an ag agent in Hughes County, and I helped him with the shooting sports workshop. Just kind of sat in with him and Keegan Varner worked on that one, and I helped him kind of set up for that and just kind of tag along with them, see how it all went with them and kind of how to do that kind of stuff. Livestock judging, our district director, Claude Bess, he put that one on, and I attended that and kind of helped him. He was picking on me and a couple of other agents that were sitting around me, so I got to help him and give him some answers he was asking for. So it was fun. It was a good day down there. It was long, but it was still a good time, and got to meet some more people and network, so it's always a good thing. This was an in-service we had in Ada. It was kind of interesting. A lot of the older ag agents wasn't in a real good mood about it, but I guess all agents, but one in particular is an ag agent, and he just went on and on about how he doesn't know how to use it and not going to use it, and just made a big fuss out of it. But it was a pretty good in-service. A lot of them didn't like it, but I think it's important that they use Facebook in particular. They were pushing Twitter, and I was trying to, I didn't say nothing to them, but our FCS agent right beside me, I was telling her that people just don't use Twitter like they do Facebook, and that they should be teaching Facebook. And a lot of the counties already use Facebook. I know in Pottawatamie County we have a Facebook. Did you guys? Hughes County uses one a lot. So they probably should have been trying to get some of the laggards that don't use Facebook using Facebook instead of Twitter. There's one of your words. I didn't have. SCD Animal Science Day. It was in Tishomingo. That's where I did my special project. There was several kids. Let's see. I think it was about 120. I think. They come in. There was several different stations around the room. I put on one about byproducts, and we split them up into groups, and they just kind of travel around and come around to each station for, I think we had them about 20 minutes or so. I can't remember exactly, but anyway, my special project was the animal byproducts game. Was the first game. They'd come in, and I had like a big, no, this was not the byproducts game was like a scavenger hunt. We had a bunch of pictures of products out there on the table, and Sarah helped me with this. I got it all together, but she helped me conduct it because we had to do it in 2 tables. There were so many of them. But had these pictures out there, and then they had a worksheet that had a clue on it, like the Jello, and we had Jello, and I think the clue was this starts as a solid and starts as a liquid and gets solid in so many minutes or something. And anyway, so they'd go around and they'd have to fill out their worksheet, and then once they finished their worksheet, we'd set them down, and I'd explain to them what each product was and what was in it and where it came from, all that. And then we did the livestock monopoly. It was just we had 2 big boards. They looked like a monopoly game. And then forgot the dice, so they had to draw a number out of a hat. and whatever their number was, they moved it so many spaces in it. It was built to where it always learns on draw a card, or it always lands on draw a card. So they draw a card, have a question on it, and then we'd have to answer the question. They'd have to answer the question. Most of the questions I had to answer for them, but anyway, I think they learned something out of that, because a lot of them didn't even know what most of the stuff was. It was a pretty tough game. Anyway, there's about 120 of them there, and so I felt like I reached several people, several youth. There's some pictures of us working on that. That was while they was doing their byproducts game. Let's me explain the byproducts game. I was happy to be there. This is the Monopoly game, the one in the bottom right.
Did you make the game board?
No, we designed it and then sent it to a place that makes signs in Shawnee, and they made it for us. This is our pictures and stuff from the byproducts game. So kids are working on that. All right. Don't Give Up Camp. That's one of the other things. Did y'all have a Don't Give Up Camp? It's for low poverty kids in the Shawnee areas. I mean, ours was Shawnee. We had one kid from Stillwater here, a couple from Chandler, just some surrounding towns, lots of Tecumseh. Anyway, they come in, they're just kind of low poverty. I don't know if they have much of a chance at home, but so this was kind of set up to keep them out of trouble. This retired principal, I think he was a principal. He kind of set it up, and he's a great guy. Anyway, we bring them in. I think we only worked with them 3 times, and we did a nutrition, cooking, and a rocketry one. Or I did on the 3 of them. So one of our other 4-H agents, Lindsay Hicks, she did a couple other things, but I didn't go to those. The nutrition one we did the week before the cooking one. It was about nutrition, how different foods are good for you. We did a Jeopardy game, kind of like that one we did in class last semester. It was just over food, kind of the food pyramid. And then we talked about food safety, because the next week was going to be in the kitchen with knives and everything. So we talked about safety and what they needed to do and how they needed to act the next week while we was in there cooking. So next Wednesday, we do these about every Wednesday. The next week we went in and to the Shawnee Middle School, and they have a nice kitchen in there. I guess their home ec room, and we did a cooking workshop. And I made several different dishes, and each adult was in charge of one, and I did the spaghetti squash something. It was pretty gross. Then the next week we did rocketry. I'm not a very good cook, I guess. Next week we did rocketry, and just made pop bottle rockets for them, or let them make them. We brought stuff and helped them, and then we went out in the back and shot them off. It was fun. They had a lot of fun with it. The goals for those kids, just keep them active, keep them out of their house where they're either in a bad environment or they're just sitting around probably watching movies, playing video games. So gets them out, gets them to learn something, stay out of trouble, time away from their bad situations, and time to meet new friends. And lots of them really met they really did a good job at becoming friends and getting out there and getting to know people, and that was good to see. This was the cooking camp. That's me cleaning out the spaghetti squash. And there it is again. Alright, and this was just some pictures I had. I went down this was in in Seminole County. I visited Travis Hanks in Seminole and Aubie Kazee in Hughes County earlier on in the summer, just to get out and learn a little something about the ag agent position. And we went down that first morning. I was in Seminole County with Travis, and we Chris Rice is the area agronomist down there. He came up, and we was spraying some native grass plots down there by Seminole. And that was just me pushing the cart. We was spraying out through here, and I was getting it out there for him.